This is us arriving at the Fairmont Mayakoba in Playa del Carmen. We just got picked up from the airport. We arranged transportation from the hotel, which was lovely. They had bottles of water for us and cool towels. It's about a 40-minute drive from the airport to the hotel, and I do recommend any resort you stay at in Cancun, you just arrange a ride with a hotel. It's much easier to walk out of the Cancun airport, look for your name on an iPad, and hop in a car than it is to haggle with the taxis at the airport. It can just be not a good way to start your trip and a little annoying. I recently had a bad experience with this as well, where we landed in Cancun, went to one of the taxi stands. They told us they would have a taxi right away. We went, we stood there for 15 minutes. Then they put us in a van, took us out of a van, made us stand there for a half hour, got us back into a van, and then put other people in the van with us when it was supposed to be a private taxi ride. And you just don't have a lot of recourse at that point, and you just want to get to your hotel. So I feel like they do this on purpose, and it's just not a good experience. So take my advice and just book the hotel shuttle. You won't regret it. Like any five-star hotel, the Fairmont is lovely. They're going to send you this welcome letter with the concierge contacts, any questions you have, dietary needs, booking excursions, making sure you have the ride that you want, and when you're landing, everything is coordinated very well ahead of time and you are taken care of very well, which also just eases any anxiety you have over traveling, especially to a different country. It's just a really, really nice five-star experience altogether. They'll send you a map of the property as well, and everything is really well marked so that you can get around to the golf course and the different areas of the property. This is a very large property. I would say it's walkable, but you probably don't want to walk it. I would take one of the carts or grab one of the bikes at the bike stations that I'll show you. There are also different room types here. At the very top, where the main lobby is and the restaurants, are the tower rooms. And then you have the lagoon rooms that wrap around what kind of look like the lazy river on the interior of the property. And then there are the beach rooms, which are the ocean front, and they're the larger suites, almost like small condos, which are really nice. And those are on the ocean front. When you arrive at this hotel, they do greet you warmly. They give you a welcome drink and point you to the check-in. There is a nice large lobby and waiting area and a lobby bar. We didn't spend a ton of time up here, but every time I was up here, it was pretty quiet. They, of course, will take your bags and get them to the room for you so they're there when you arrive, and then they transport you on these carts to your room and show you around the property a bit. These carts are rolling throughout the property every 5 to 10 minutes at different stations to get you around because, again, it's large. So we never waited too long for a ride or was easy to find a bike. But up here at the top of the property is where those tower rooms are. They're base level rooms, so they're by the main restaurants and by the lobby. And then there is a dedicated pool for them as well up here. And then the lagoon goes all the way up here as well, so you can grab one of the boats. I think you have to make a reservation for that, if I remember correctly, and then you can boat through the entire lagoon and property. We did this one day and it was just a really fun way to see the entire property and go through the whole lagoon. It was really, really fun. Here is the pool up by the tower rooms. If you wanted just to stay at the top of the property and go to this pool, you could spend your entire vacation up at the top portion of the property and never go down to the main pool or the beach. And it always seemed pretty quiet up here. Here's a bird's eye view of my favorite part of this entire property. This is what the pool looks like from above. This is a stock photo I grabbed, but I'll show you video I took as well. All the way to the left there is the adult infinity pool. There's also a pool at the spa that's an adult pool. And then I think there's a rooftop pool as well. So there are some adult spaces, but this is the main pool on the property. When we were there, I think the hotel was at about 40% capacity, so this was not busy at all. And I had my daughter with me, so wouldn't be at the adult pools anyways, but I don't know that it's necessary. I love the layout of this pool. All the little cutouts act as individual cabanas, and the landscaping and the way it's designed gives you so much privacy. So, a lot of luxury resorts, you have to rent a cabana to feel like you have a space that's isolated in your own. And here, you just have them naturally. So, it's a wonderful design. And you can see the lily pad here allows you to sunbathe or acts as a step to get right into the water. We definitely spent most of our time here at the main pool. There is a swim up bar, and there's also a slide that isn't too big for little kids either. And we just really enjoyed this. If we weren't here, we were usually down at the beach, which was pretty nice as well. By far, this is one of my favorite pool designs I've ever seen. And they also come around and give you popsicles midday. So it's just really fun, enjoyable. There's shade available. It's a great setup. The kids club is close by too, so you can hang out at the pool and then have your kids do different activities and sign up for different things there. Billy really enjoyed all sorts of different activities that they had. The cafe is also right here. This is where you're going to get your morning coffee, which was absolutely delicious. They have ice cream as well, and I am an absolute coffee snob. I like my espresso. I like it strong, rich, and really good, and they had excellent coffee in the rooms as well. They also have your standard gift shop if you forgot floaties, goggles, sunscreen, need a hat or a souvenir or a quick snack. You can get all of that in here as well, and it's right around that main pool area, so really convenient. In the evening, the property does have a fair amount of lighting, and then all the pool lights go on, so you get a completely different view of the property after dark, and it's quite lovely. All around the property at Fairmont Mayakoba, you will see these bike stands, and you can grab a bike and ride it wherever you'd like. My daughter was about 8 at the time, and when you get down to the beach, you either need to take one of these carts that also come by the different stations every 5 to 10 minutes, and you can see how polite they are braking for her to get around them. Everyone is very kind and attentive. And you do go through a forested area. If you look at that map in the beginning that I showed you, there's a ton of forest on this property, which also means bugs and mosquitoes. So keep that in mind. But she was 8 at the time and she could bike down to the beach no problem. Also, keep in mind what time of year you're going though, because when it's 90 and it's midday, even though there's a canopy here and there's some shade, it gets very humid and very hot. So, for some people, this could be problematic. If you were at the top of the property biking down to the beach, I would say it could take you maybe 15 or 20 minutes. If you're kind of in that lagoon area where our room was, in the center, depending on how fast you bike, you could get down there in 5 minutes, 10 if you're going slow. I think it took us about 10 or 12 minutes, and we were going fairly slowly because I was following her. But if you don't want to bike, the carts are on a regular rotation and they will take you all over the property and get you where you need to go. It was really fun for us to grab the bikes. She really enjoyed it. And if you don't want to sit and wait for the carts to come around and there's a bike right there, we just hopped on them and rode them all over the place. It was a lot of fun. As you arrive down at the beach, you will see yet another pool, quite large. That way you can have some pool and beach time congruently, which is always nice when you're at the beach. This was a bit of a cloudy day, so you can see it's really quiet again. As you get down here, you will be immediately approached and asked if you need towels, help finding a chair. Very accommodating 5-star hotel experience. You also have different games down here, and you can borrow the kayaks or floaties or anything you might need. The chairs are comfortable, and they have those nice thatched roof umbrellas, which are really fun. We did borrow some kayaks and went out and had a really good time. There's a full bar as well for mixed drinks and sodas and any beverages you need. And then these are the suites. So they are on the back part of that property of the main beach where everyone's hanging out. So you can see perspective wise, they're right there on the ocean. One of the coolest things was this guy and his trained hawk, and we asked about it because I was like, what is going on? And he walks up and down the property on the beach, and his hawk scares away all the other birds. If you've ever been at any resort, you know the birds love a beach resort because they're eating all the fruit and picking at your snacks, and the hawk and this guy walk up and down and just get rid of all the annoying birds and chase them away. It was really, really cool to see. I'm not going to do a full review of food, but I will give you a bit of an overview. We did go to just about every restaurant on the property. They were all well decorated, they all had beautiful views. All the food we ate was absolutely wonderful. You can order as much as you want if you're doing the all inclusive package, of course. Desserts were great. And they also have a kids menu. The kids menu is consistent and will follow you to any of the restaurants. So as an adult, you can have whatever, fancy meal you want, and your kids can still get something that they're comfortable with. But overall, the food experience here was really, really good. And I have had all inclusive resort food that isn't good, cruise food that I don't enjoy, but here it was really nice. By far, the best thing about this entire food experience was the breakfast buffet. It was phenomenal. So many choices, completely overwhelming, more than you will eat for breakfast in your entire life, of course. But it was so good, just really high quality and fresh, and so many options. They also really make a point to cater to all different palates. They obviously have people coming in from around the world, so they make sure they have something for everyone. But when I tell you this was one of the biggest, most elaborate breakfast buffets I've ever seen, it really was. Yogurts, fruit, fresh meats, and fish that they're cutting for you. All the fresh fruit here, they will cut to order for you. Guava juices, green juices, Mexican hot chocolate. It was really amazing. But the best part was the authentic Mexican food, of course. I asked this sweet lady if I could film her, and she said yes. So she's making tortillas for you every morning, filling them with whatever you'd like, toppings. They were absolutely divine. There was a harpist playing in the corner. Just really beautiful experience. That's our fresh fruit that they cut for us. And this is the breakfast I still dream about. And they kept bringing me this habanero cream sauce. It was just a lovely experience. There is a spa on the property too. It's really nice. I got one massage. I didn't get any other treatments, but the massage was really good. And I do get a fair amount of massages, so I'm kind of picky. But lovely building. There's some amenities in here as well if you want to hang out in the spa, and other things you can book. But we were just busy doing other things, so I didn't experience much else besides the massage, but it was quite nice. All right, we're going to end with a quick room tour. Yes, it's messy, and I do this all the time, but I tend to like to get a feel for the room and then film. So if there's anything I need to focus on, I can. So ignore the mess. But again, we had one of the lagoon rooms, the Queen Casita that leads out to the lagoon. The balcony was nice and large, but we didn't really use it much just because once it got dark, there's nothing you can see out there. So overall, the room was really, really nice, though, and I would get this room again. The bedding was lovely. The finishes were really nice. There's a small espresso machine in the room and a mini fridge that I did not film, but they will refill what you're eating and drinking over and over and over again. So that's really nice. Plenty of storage with your typical safe and iron. That's us, me and Billy, after we got ready one night in our room. Nice soaking tub, lots of room in the bathroom, great lighting. All your typical amenities that you typically get at a Fairmont, the Rose 31 shampoo, conditioner, and lotion. This little window in the back opened, so if you want some fresh air or listen to the birds while you're showering, you can certainly open that, but you can't really go out there. They also did give you bug spray because bugs are an issue in the summer months in Mexico, and robes, which the Fairmont usually gives you as well. But overall, the finishes of this room were just lovely. Lots of attention to detail and really well thought out and really, really nice. So there's a hair dryer as well. So all the typical things you could expect, nothing unusual. Overall, the room experience was 10 out of 10. It was clean, well thought out. I have no complaints at all. It was lovely. The turn down service at night was great. The housekeeping was great. They brought us extra pillows, blankets, whatever we needed. Absolutely great experience. We really enjoyed our entire stay at the Fairmont Mayakoba. It was a great experience. My daughter, 5 years later, continues to ask to go back. We did visit in 2019, and it was a great experience, and I cannot wait to go back there. It was really, really lovely, and looking forward to visiting again soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and it was helpful at all, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks for watching.